Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Love Local podcast today. Very excited. We are sitting with our dear friend, Raghu Sundara. He is the owner and operator of Always Be Connecting. We're going to learn a little bit about networking, do's and don'ts, and he's going to help you build your network and understand how you can use your connections for whatever it is you want to.
My friends, we're excited to be here today at Betty D's studio. Beyond excited to be sitting here with Raghu Sundara. He's one good dude, as we'll get into, and he's really passionate about helping people connect and living the best lives possible. Before we dive into the show, let's hear a word from one of our sponsors. All right, friends, we are excited to showcase one of our sponsors, Bellworks, Chicagoland, and Hoffman Estates. Bellworks is new to the Chicago area, but the vision has been around since 2008 in New Jersey. We decided to set up our office and studio here at Bellworks because the energy within the building is off the charts. Working around other businesses and entrepreneurs in this modern space is unlike any other place available here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. From the unique design to the vibe of being around other businesses and entrepreneurs, we were hooked from the first time we walked through the doors. The vision behind the Bellworks model is special, and in our opinion, the future of how we will work, live, and play. They coined the term metroverb, metropolis and suburbia. My friends, it is the best of both worlds, a city vibe, but right here in the suburbs of Chicago. Bellworks is a destination for business, culture, and life unlike any other in our area, with world-class offices, one-of-a-kind retail space, delicious dining options, awesome event spaces, and much more. The build-out is still in the beginning stages, but trust us when we say that it is a special place. Bellworks is unique in that it is a special place for any size business. Businesses have the opportunity to grow without ever having to leave Bellworks. They can start with a private office within a collaborative co-working environment called CoLab. When they grow to where they need more space, they can get a private built-out spec suite within the ready-to-wear suites. And if the business keeps growing, they can have a suite built up on the third and fourth floors. The building is truly meant to create a community to help businesses thrive, grow, and be successful. The building is beginning to come alive and growing with tenants every single day. We are having a blast here at Bellworks and have enjoyed our new routines, from working out in the Fit Lab gym that is available on the lower level to our coffee and lunch from Fairgrounds in the square. Bellworks is bringing urban cool, urban comfort, and urban convenience to the suburbs. To learn more about Bellworks, visit www.bellworks.com or reach out to us. We would love to connect you with them.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Jason, have you heard of the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, I think I have. Kevin Bacon's the guy in Footloose, right?
Yes, he is the guy in Footloose.
Okay, 6 degrees of separation. Tell me a little bit more.
Everybody in the world is connected to Kevin Bacon in 6 degrees or less,
yes.
Right? I think everyone knows this, besides you, obviously. Today, we're going to learn that.
I do like Footloose, just throwing that out there.
We could. So today, we're going to learn in the northwest suburbs that everybody has 6 degrees of separation from Raghu Sundara. And you think I'm kidding? He literally walked into the studio today and had an instant connection with someone who was here. So this guy knows everybody.
For sure.
He decided that he should start his own company, Always Be Connecting, where he can help others with their network, help people connect and do things. So we're excited to have him on the show today.
Yeah, definitely excited. Raghu, I've known for about a year and a half now, and I've learned so much from him about being a better human. So he's talking about networking and he's going to talk about connecting people, but it comes from such a genuine place that it's you can't help but to learn from it and to be able to grow from it. So as we dive in today, we're going to go into his passion for networking and how he helps connect people so that he could help people live their best lives possible and also like help grow their business too. So welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. I've been watching you guys for a while and listening to your podcast. It's been great.
And we appreciate the support.
Yeah, very much so, man.
Definitely.
Very much so. Before we kind of dive in, I think we're going to talk about a beer or something.
Before we get rolling, we also need to talk about what's in the cup today, okay?
What?
So every show, we like to highlight a local beer that somehow connects us to our guest. Today is no different. The beer that we have today is called In a Bind. So think about it for a second. When you need something done and you are actually in a bind, that is when you really need to reach out to your network to help solve your issues, to help you accomplish whatever your goal might be. The title alone would make this symbolize for Raghu a home run, right? It's definitely meets what Always Be Connecting is trying to do. But wait, there's a little bit more. This dark lager itself is a product of networking between two local breweries. You got Skeleton Key Brewing, which is out of Woodridge, Illinois, and then you got our friends over at Church Street Brewing, which is in Itasca. if you haven't been to Church Street Brewing in Itasca, you'd need to head over to their tasting room and soak up a little bit of the ambiance as well as their righteously good beer. You can have some of this in a bind, or you can choose any of their 30 beers they have on tap. This year actually marks a decade that Church Street has been pumping out good beer, good music, good times out of Itasca. So help them stay committed to what their ultimate goal is, never sacrificing taste, character, or the community.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. All right, so let's dive in, man. Before we kind of get into the networking and all that piece, let's give our audience like a taste of who you are. Where are you from? That whole nine.
So I was born at Lexington Brothers Hospital in Elk Grove Village, and I grew up in the Schaumburg area. My parents came to the United States back in the 60s, and I didn't have any cousins here. So didn't have other than just friends.
Were your parents together when they immigrated?
Yes.
Okay, so they were together, but they had nobody else.
Yep.
Just
Nobody
them.
else.
Okay.
Just them. Came here. Now they met people that spoke the same language here, became friends with them. But for the most part, 99% of our family has always been in India. And so being in that situation, I don't know what came first. My approach to making friends, or if that forced me to make friends, but my friends became my family, and to fill that void. And so growing up, I always had different groups of friends, sports friends, Indian temple friends, family friends that we grew up together, high school friends, college friends.
Yeah.
And
And
so
they were all different
things.
group. Like you were the common element in all those groups.
Common
right?
element, yeah.
It wasn't like three kids that were always in these groups.
No, it
Okay.
was I was kind of like the connector back then.
You're like an OG connector. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah.
I was like the point guard,
Yeah.
basically, of the starting five. And I was the point guard, and I remember, fifth grade, going to my birthday party at Hoffman Lanes, which is no longer there. I think they just imploded that building.
I think all bowling alleys are going. I think Elk Grove Bowl is done at the end of May.
Yeah, it's about to be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I remember going to a
unfortunate.
birthday
Yeah.
party there, and I was thinking about this just the other day, and I had 15 of my friends there, but 5 different groups of friends made up the kids that were there, and to this day, I probably still know and hang out with 10 out of the 15.
Yeah.
So it's and 2 of them I still bowl with at Poplar Creek Lanes in Hoffman Estates. It's so cool to be able to have that type of
What's your
connection.
average score? What is your
This year?
handicap or whatever?
This year it's about 190, but usually I'm around 205.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's got to brag.
Well, I've been boring.
Kind of like
I've been
he's like,
bowling
how
for.
much you bowl? Like, what do you bowl?
I've been in a bowling league 4 years, and I bowl once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah.
So what's your score though?
I don't think I'd like to talk about it.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it's not 190. Mine isn't either.
It's
Just
much
throwing that
shorter
out
than
there.
with my
Not
handicap.
190.
I
Yeah.
might be at like 180
Yeah.
with the handicap. No, my average is like 135.
But I've been bowling for like 30 years.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I also
If you
bowl.
did something
I
for
bowl
30
with my
years,
other
for
hand.
sure.
Yeah.
So I'm a righty. I bowl with my left to make it tougher. But you probably use your dominant hand.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
fine.
Exactly.
You like things easy. I
Yeah.
like a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would dominate on the football field, both of you, right? So
Mike's a really big BSer. I'm just going to throw.
Oh,
it
yeah,
out there
for
right
sure.
now.
The problem
Full
with bowling
disclaimer.
is you're always like a board off. It's very annoying.
that's all it is.
It's like a game of literally millimeters.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. Cool. So went to Conant High School.
Yep.
And then from there, it's obviously a few years back. From there, where did you go, and kind of what led you to where you're at right now?
Yeah. So I went to Purdue University in Indiana, and
Boiler up. Let's
yeah,
go.
boiler up,
Yeah.
number 4 in the country right now.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So don't want to jinx them. So that's where I met my wife Pam, and she was from Indiana. So without Purdue, we definitely wouldn't have met. And so that was awesome. And so I graduated from there, got into sales with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, worked there for about 4 years. Then got into the insurance industry with AAA, worked there for about 6 years. And I was a manager there. So I would hire, train, motivate sales reps there. wanted to move upward and found an opportunity at Liberty Mutual. Worked there for about 6 years, and was at that point was in corporate America for 18 years. And I've always wanted to open up my own business, so came to a crossroads and said, "Hey, let me open up in the same community I grew up in." So I opened up an Allstate agency 3 years ago. To actually, our anniversary was 2 days ago for our 3-year anniversary.
Awesome,
So
man.
things are going awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So what drew you to sales? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like every job you've had has been sales. So like, what about you or what about sales drew you to it?
Yeah, so even in college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And, I think when I did the career fair at Purdue, I think I was just drawn to something that would match my personality, allow me to talk to people and interact with people and have relationships. I love building relationships with people and just building off those. And I think that sales is a great industry to take advantage of that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, you seem like you have to knowing you for year and a half or so. You seem to have like a really big passion for sales, but I wouldn't call it sales. Like I would call it like you really want to help people, like do really good. Like simplest way to say that, or to solve their need for them, and it's super genuine. And like, don't trust me. Like I was like my radar was up. Like, is this guy like legit? Like he's saying he's a networker and he's a connector and all this. Like my radar was up flat out. But after I got to know you, the words I think of are authenticity, and you're just genuine. Like you genuinely want to help people. Where does that come from?
I think my dad and both my parents, but my dad, who I remember growing up, and he would always do business with people in the area. Like he wouldn't go to the Buick dealership back then. Buick was still around, and we were a Buick family, and so he wouldn't go to the Buick dealership to get his Park Avenue serviced. He would take it to, and I still remember this, to Merlin's Muffler off of Irving Park Road over by Barrington Road over there. And he used to tell me about it. And I say, "Why would you take it there, Dad?" And he would brag about how he knows the owner there. Yeah. And it's from there. I'm like, man.
The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. I could see you doing that with Priya. Yeah.
So I just thought it was cool to have relationships. And it's like, also they know where your car's been. You go back to the same place. They appreciate your business, and you take that and why wouldn't you take that same philosophy with anything that you do? And that's why I learned it from my dad. And I think he was in sales too. He was a financial advisor. And so I think which is a much, much longer sale than auto and home insurance like I do. So he did have to develop relationships. I think that's where I saw it. And I was like, I just always admired that about him.
It's really awesome, man. I see that in you as I got to know you. And I think there's power in knowing the owner or knowing the person that runs the place. I learned a lot over the COVID time frame as we come out of this. But I learned that the small businesses that make up our downtown areas or make up our main streets or Northwest highways or golf, they're the people that are our neighbors. They live in our community. They do life in our community just like us. So it's important for us to take care of each other and support each other. There's corporation places that you could go to, but when you support a mom and pops, when you support a place where the owner lives here in the community, you're really keeping your dollars here in the community, which is super important, especially as we continue to go forward. Like, no offense, Amazon, like you want all of our jobs. So I think it's super important to be able to take care of those small business owners, man.
Yeah. And I think you get a lot more face-to-face interaction with somebody. Like
sure.
you can't always just go through an app. You can't always go through a website. There's something to be said for actually talking to someone, and they don't tell you, well, that's not our policy. I can't do this. I can't do that. I feel like when you go to someone local, you usually get better service. I feel a little more attentive, sometimes more skill than you would get from a corporation.
Yeah. Totally. They know you're going to come back. And so they know that you want to come back, and you're going to give them way more referrals than somebody who buys online.
Yeah,
absolutely. So at some point, you obviously felt you were well connected, that you wanted to branch out and do something else in terms of networking. So when did that come across? Like every superhero has an origin story. Where's the origin story for Always Be Connecting?
And you have your cape on representing
Yeah.
your alma mater.
This is where
Superhero,
the-
what?
Yeah. So where it all started, I back at AAA, the first thing that they told me, my management, one of my mentors told me there was that I should join a chamber. So the first chamber I ever joined, believe it or not, 7 years into being in sales, was in Joliet. We were living in Romeoville, so I managed the Joliet, AAA, Bolingbrook, and the Plainfield branches. And so I joined the Joliet Chamber of Commerce, and I didn't even know what to do there. It was weird.
Yeah.
I was like,
You
whoa,
just show up and
yeah. It was a great chamber. They were very welcoming. The second one I joined Plainfield, and so got my feet wet there, saw what it was about, joined a referral group. I just went through the motions. I didn't really do anything. So it was weird, but it was good. It was good exposure. And then from there, what happened was being a manager at 2 insurance companies, I hired and trained, about 50 sales reps between the 2 branches over the course of those 12 years there. And so over the course of 12 years, I would mentor and coach sales reps to go to the chambers in their area that they either lived in or where our branch was. So over the course of 12 years, I worked 18 different chambers in 14 of those 12 years there. So now, in 15 years, I've been a part of 18 different chambers. So that showed me what a good chamber looks like, what different people, what different industries are looking for, what givers look like. And I didn't know what that even meant until 3 years ago, as far as the definition.
Yeah. So what do you mean by givers?
So somebody who just gives to give, blind trust. I want to see the best in you. I want to see you succeed as a business owner. We're meeting up, and I find out who's a good prospect for you, who's a good customer for you, who's also somebody that has referred you before. So a CPA refers you. So me thinking, well, I know 3 CPAs. Well, maybe I don't need to introduce you to all 3 of them, but let me try to get in touch with one of them, introduce you to. Better yet, I'm actually meeting one next week. Why don't you come along? Let me just text him or her and see if she's okay with you showing up. And then doing things like that type of the giver mentality. There's this book called The Go-Giver, and
You did a presentation on that, right?
Yeah, Always Be Connecting, the presentation I did, and I always reference The Go-Giver. And one of the basic principles of The Go-Giver, and I'm probably paraphrasing right now, but it's to give way more in value than you take in payment.
Say that again.
To give way more in value,
Huge, yes.
than you take or collect in payment.
Yeah.
Which is not a well-used philosophy these days. So really absorb that. Rewind it, listen to that part again.
Yeah.
It is important. I think a lot of people always the whiff, what's in it for me kind of mentality, when you're kind of looking the opposite way, like what's in it for them, right? You're trying to serve them, and in turn serving them will serve, you and everyone else around it.
Yeah. I look at it as it's a dead battery. Somebody's got to jumpstart it,
for sure.
Right? One of us.
Yeah.
We're there together. Why should I, or why should you have to do it? Why can't I do it first? But if we both think like that, what if we both are givers at the same time? What would that look like?
Beautiful synergy, right?
Yeah.
I learned a lot from networking. I think I made that pretty transparent in our conversation from you. And I didn't going into the SBA or Palatine Chamber, which is becoming a multi-chamber now. But going in there, I didn't understand the art that goes behind it. And I can honestly say, I learned a lot from just the way you went about business. What I learned that it's so much better to give, even than to receive. So when you're giving and you're helping people with referrals and helping them grow their business, there is a genuine, very welcoming show of gratitude by that person that you're helping them achieve something. So when you leave with that giving, and it's not only been referrals that you've given in. I've seen you give in so many different ways. But it's a powerful thing. It's better to give than receive. And that person wants to give back to you, the right people, right? If they're not takers, which I'll have you go in on that in a second. But if they're givers too, down deep inside, it's pretty powerful, right?
Absolutely.
We talked about givers. We've talked about givers and takers, right? That's kind of like a thing that we've talked about numerous times. Go into like the taking side of it. What do you see out in these chambers or out in these networking groups that shows a taker?
Yeah, so a taker usually a lot of times they don't even know they're a taker.
Yeah.
They're thinking of themselves. When you're talking, they're thinking about what they're gonna say. They're not even listening to you. They're just thinking
I'm sorry,
about
what did you say?
exactly.
I was thinking my next line.
Takers only call you when they need something. You know, takers
that's
drain your
true, though.
energy.
That is totally true when you say that, because I have some friends that I've met through, like, family, kids, whatever. And it's like, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you help me with that? It's like, I literally feel like I work for them at times, and there's nothing that they're giving back.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm guilty of that. Like, I don't even, and after hanging out with
You're
you,
the
I don't
one I
even
was
call
talking-
those people.
You're the one I was talking about.
I don't even, if I can't feel like I'm giving in a relationship, if I don't feel like I offer that person value, I am now, because just learning some of your philosophies, I am slower to reach out to that person, even for the basic thing, because it's about win-win relationships at the end of the day, right? So like, if I'm not giving to help this person, why can't I be just asking for that take, right?
Yeah.
Let's do a segment like, you're a taker if. you fill in what would be a
Let's
taker
go.
if.
is that like a Jeff Foxworthy
Yeah.
type of thing?
Well, don't say Jeff Fox, because now we got to pay him for
Oh,
the skit.
Jeff F.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny guy.
I
He's a
just
funny
made this
guy.
up myself, Raghu.
Yeah.
So what
No,
do you see some takers
what are
doing
some
out there? What are some
characteristics?
examples?
So
Or character?
yeah, I mean, they usually complain about problems and never come up with solutions on their own.
Yeah.
They want you to solve their problems for them. They have a scarcity mindset. So here's a scarcity mindset example for you. You got two realtors that walk into a networking event. This is not a joke, by the way. It's not a
It
start
sounds
with
like, is there a
So-
rabbi too? Two realtors and a rabbi.
There's two community first realtors sitting here,
Yeah.
waiting for you to hear what you have
Sure,
to say.
Raghu,
No.
go ahead.
So scarcity mindset of a taker would be both of them. If they're takers, they would say, well, why is there another realtor in the group? Like, what's the point of us being here? I don't see that.
Because they're only worried about themselves then.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're worried about
That's their
how
first
is
thought.
this person is going to take business away from me
Yeah.
versus how many realtors there are in the state of Illinois. There's probably over like
14,000.
There's
8,000.
tons.
Yeah.
And now that the
13,000.
market's good, there's
Yeah.
like tons times tons.
So there's plenty of business
Yeah.
out there for everyone,
Yeah.
right? The opposite of that is an abundance type of mindset where there's plenty of business out there. How can we work together? Maybe how can we work together? There's tons of ways that people can work together, even in a competitive role, because you might be working with different types of buyers, or they're looking for distressed homes, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And other realtors might not. You might do commercial,
100%.
you might do residential. So
Yeah. That's
but
true.
they go into it thinking like that, and then their tone of voice shows that,
for sure.
and
Yeah.
that's what
It
happens.
shows what they're thinking about first. It's not about giving. It's not about helping
Totally.
other people genuinely, because you see, oh, I just met you. You could solve this problem for people. Then you meet another person. Hey, I just met somebody that could solve your problem. Connect.
Yeah,
Right. And kind of bring them together.
yeah,
I just thought of another really good one. If you know what somebody does, what their job is within like 5 minutes of meeting them, they're a taker.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because
Yeah.
I've known people and they're like, I don't even know what you
That's a
do.
good point.
They're
Yeah.
like, well, you never asked me what I do.
yeah. I always say lead with something you love. Like lead
Yeah.
with something. Like if you're passionate about a charity, lead with that.
Yeah.
Because
What do you think Love Local is, man? That's what it is. It's leading to do some good and to get some good vibes out there into our world. But
you guys have been doing it for a while, and that's why when I first met you guys,
Yeah.
that's why I admired so much about you guys, because you guys are doing so much for the community, and you are doing it to give. You guys are basically volunteering your time to give back in a genuine way, and that's what I love about what you guys do.
but it's because that it's better. We've learned that it's better to give than receive.
Totally.
To truly want somebody else to be happy and to be successful in their job, and to help people grow their business. Like, it feels good from the inside to do that. What I could say from being a taker, because I didn't know it, I didn't know I was a taker flat out, but I look back on my life and I've seen that. To learning some of the principles that I've learned from you, it's so much more abundant. When you get to think about, hey, I get to help this person and I get to support this person and let me connect this person, it makes life exciting, in my opinion, very much. Simple as that.
So like, let's talk about Always Be Connecting. If I am interested, I don't know anything about my network. I know like 100 people and I need help. What do I do? I mean, what's a typical person who comes to you? What's a typical person you're looking for? And how do you help?
So it's anybody who either doesn't feel comfortable with networking, somebody who has even been in the business for 20, 30 years, but they're just not getting what they think they should be getting out of networking. So if they're joining a chamber or any specific organization that they want to get more out of, or just in their natural market, they want to get more out of it. I can help them identify power partners and power prospects. So meaning power partners are people that would refer them business, meaning in my line of business, insurance, a power partner for me, residential realtor. They control the home buying process. That's a perfect example of somebody who I would love to meet realtors.
And they say, hey, you need insurance. You talk to Raghu.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's a power partner. So a power partner for me would be like a lender.
Yes.
Or would be somebody that would, car insurance salesman. Car salesmen are perfect for you.
Yep.
Handyman, things like that. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So that's a power partner. And everybody wants power partners.
Yes.
And you should.
Well, they should.
Well, you should want them. And you probably have some power partners. Almost everybody probably does. You would also help them utilize those power partners or understand who they are and then utilize them.
I would connect them to new ones as well.
Gotcha.
So I would help them strengthen relationships with existing ones, identify new ones, help them find new ones. Either I could go out there and find them, right? Or I can help them, train them, and coach and motivate them on how to have them navigate paths on getting and achieving more relationships with power partners.
Okay.
Awesome. You have a quote that we pulled from your Facebook and LinkedIn page. And it kind of ties into this, but I want you to kind of tell us where your mindset was when you wrote this quote. Quoted from Raghu, everything I can do can be done through my network. If it can't be done through my network, then I need to grow my network. What does that mean? So
pretty much anything, I have my calendar in the week, anything that I do. So if I have to take my car in for an oil change, I'm going to take it to somebody I know, right? Why? I want to keep it as local as possible.
Take care of your own mentality.
Whether it's a heat map of where I grew up, I want the money going local, right? And same thing with, dry cleaning, same thing. Any type of shopping that I do, anything, if I need something fixed in my house, why would I do it if I know somebody or somebody that I know knows somebody that can do it way better and they do it 10 times a day? And then if I can't find that, right? If I don't have somebody, actually, this happened the other day. Our garage door opener spring broke right before the snowstorm.
It just happened to me like a month ago.
Yeah. So it was crazy. So I look on the sticker on the door, and that sticker's been on there since we bought the house. So maybe it's 15 years old, that sticker that says the name of a company. So I had two options. I could have called that company, or I called one of my buddies we all know him, and he works for a bank. And I said, hey, do you know somebody who's a customer of yours that owns a garage door opener company, a garage company? And he floated me the cell number of that person. I called that person first thing in the morning, and that specific person answered the phone and said, hey, and I said, hey, this person referred me. And instantly, I could just feel it in his voice. He's like, yeah, we got you. And they were out. And they took care of us within 3 hours. Boom, done. And I felt so good about keeping it there. And so just going back to that, it's just, I love keeping it as local as possible. And so that's what I had to do. I had to grow my network there because now I know this person.
So I had the same thing happen, except mine was the cable. Actually, it wasn't the spring. Like the cable inside.
Okay.
So my door's all cattywampus, and there's this big picture of this guy's face. And I bought this house like 10 years ago. I've never had a garage door fixed. So this guy's got to be at least more than 10 years in business. So I call the number because he's on my door. And I said, hey, are you still in the garage door business? That's a relevant question. He goes, I answered the phone, didn't I? And I go, all right. Right? This is literally how the conversation started. So I go, my garage door's broken. He goes, oh, what's wrong with it? I go, I don't know. It's all cockeyed, basically 6 inches on one side and 4 inches on the other. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's probably, you probably need to call. I go, great.
I called.
Can you come out? Can
How
you
you
come
doing?
out? He goes, maybe Tuesday. This was like a Sunday. And I go, that's not going to work, So then I hang up the phone and I asked for somebody and they gave me a local company. I called them. They answered the phone Monday morning, called me back, said they'd be there in 2 hours. They showed up in 2 hours. Guy ripped they did rip the tag down and put his face on it.
Oh, of course.
So I got a new face. But you're absolutely right. Like
a face that solved your problem. Though. Yeah.
I couldn't. The best part was like I answered the phone, didn't I? And I'm like, all right. So
Wow.
this is how.
Wow.
It's nuts. I mean, I do agree. If you do refer somebody, and I will say I'm kind of bad when I get a referral. I don't say, hey, this person referred me. I guess maybe I should do that more often because then that just keeps the love kind of, full circle. But like, you do get better results, I have found, by using referrals. And I am not a person that likes to refer easily. I'm a hard referral. So like, I need to feel comfortable with somebody. I need to feel like I understand the business that people are doing. Versus I like your philosophy you told me the other day, just refer them out. Just if you know somebody, give them a shot. Right?
And the reason why I do that, I just think about is blind trust, referring, blind trust giving. And the reason is because what's the alternative? I would be telling them to go to Google and search there. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Why is that any better? Why? Because they have a better rating? Or go to Facebook, ISO in search of, and you get 55 comments. What makes the first comment better than the 55th comment, the recommendation?
Well, on Google, they're better at search engine optimization. So obviously, that's why they're number one.
Oh, yeah.
And in Facebook, they just have a lot of people who constantly say their name.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or they could just be really good at that, knowing what drives the algorithm.
I always love,
for sure. 100.
I
That's
love
the
on
thing.
Facebook when people say things and you get like 1,000 people commenting
Mhm.
on like a million different, like, don't you have somebody you can call? Why are you asking everybody in Facebook, I need an ice maker. Who do I call? Like, don't you know somebody that you can talk to?
Yeah.
If somebody is just starting out with building up their power partners and their network, what would be a couple pieces of advice that you would give them?
I would say keep an open mind. Like literally don't think when you meet with somebody who, even if they're not a power partner, I'd rather have a connector that is now not a general, natural power partner when it comes to industry. Versus, and now here's a clear example. I would rather meet a connector who's not a realtor and who's retired than somebody who is a realtor who's not a connector.
Yeah.
Now I would love to meet a realtor that's a connector.
For sure.
But
That's both.
by
That's
connector,
perfect.
you mean
Yeah.
someone who has that passion that you do to make people come together. So
And
that
to make
makes them a connector.
recommendations
So
and
they're
to connect
actions.
people. Yeah, to solve problems for people. And that's the biggest thing. That's all this is if you're solving problems for people of stuff that you don't even do, they're going to come to you for something you do. Because they're like, man,
Yeah.
if Raghu's this good when he's not even my agent, how is he going to be when he is my agent? When in the end, I don't really care. They don't have to ever be.
Because you
I've had customers refer me.
Front.
Yeah. I'm giving the value up front and I'm not asking for anything in return. But what happens is you create this sales karma, this customer service karma, this connection karma. And it just comes, you get things without being, expecting them. And if the worst thing that happens is that I'm helping my network get stronger. If my network gets stronger, I get stronger.
Totally.
And vice versa.
It's true.
100% true. I'm an avid reader and I like to read, learn, soak things in. Are there any books or anything like that where we could like learn about connecting from the ground up that you would recommend? Or not connecting type thing?
Probably something written by yourself. Do you have a book out
Do you
there?
have a book?
Raghu?
You
I don't have a
book yet?
book.
Is that your
I do
next
not
step?
have a book.
Yeah. So you did something. I forgot the name of it. Was it
The Go Giver.
that you did in your presentation?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's the book that really started my mentality of, focusing on giving, like having a process behind giving.
Yeah.
And so my mentality is obviously with that quote, that's where it all starts. But when I meet with somebody and I'm meeting with them for half hour, whatever it is, I'm finding out what they're about, what do they do and why do they do it? And then if I find out who their power partner is or power prospect, my goal is to, within 3 weeks, introduce them to either a power partner or power prospect. And if I can't do that, I shouldn't do what I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you did it to me. I
you-
think you referred somebody to me within like 2 weeks of knowing you.
And that's because I have a
fair.
process behind
Yeah.
it. So like, it's almost like, I have a process, and I have a, like, I use my calendar a lot. I use Outlook calendar. And I really, each week, how I do it is I look at all the people I met throughout the week, because everything is on my calendar. So maybe Saturday or Sunday, and I take an hour, right? I'm just looking, and I just go through and I do some reflecting on who did I meet and what were the promises or the the expectations of our relationship. And I'll try, that's where I try to fill the gaps. And I look to the following week and say, well, any of these people in the following week, would they help people in the week that I just met people in?
Yeah.
Any of the prospects that I have, customers, any of the friends that I'm meeting with. Hell, let me look at the last 50 texts that I sent to people, in friends and family even. And do they have anything to do with this? And it's almost just like a brainstorming session, and it only takes an hour. And I've been doing it for so long that it's pretty efficient.
Yeah.
But it's so beneficial.
Your brain just mapped that way, though. Like, this is not something that you can teach people to be better and be closer to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you're not
Comes
just going to wake
natural
up
to 'em,
and
for sure.
right?
Yeah, my mind
Like,
works that way, but my processes
help,
maximize that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They do.
So-
they do.
So like, I want to become a customer, right? So I reach out to you, I get your number.
Yep.
What does that look like for me? Like, like on day one, what am I getting into? What are you offering?
Yeah. So really, it starts with a 30-minute to an hour, free connection call, right? And with a connection call would be either in person, Zoom, however, phone call. And really, it would come down to, I'm trying to figure out what you're looking to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into it and say, hey, I can do this, this, and this. I got to figure out what you're trying to do. It might even come down to say, you don't even need my help. You're really good at what you do. Tweak
Yeah.
these couple things and, join this chamber or join this referral group. My buddy is looking for a commercial realtor in this referral group. And that's what it comes down to. But also it comes down to, okay, well, do you want me to help you with 24/7 access to me, coaching you on everything and anything? And I have a monthly fee for that, or I can do hourly.
So the coaching
things.
for like 24 access to you is basically like, hey, I've got this problem. I need help navigating through it. I mean, it's anything they want to bounce off of you in terms of networking.
Anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Like,
love it. I mean,
so if I pay you a monthly fee, I can call you at 2 a.m.
yes, you can
All
call me at 2 a.m. If I'm up, I'll answer.
The answering's the hardest.
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
I do think, like, as in anything, the unknown is what is the barrier for people to try it. So I don't know what I need from a network coach, right? I'd always be connecting. Sounds great. I've seen you in action. Otherwise, I really wouldn't. It'd be hard for me to conceptualize.
For sure.
But it blows my mind. Anywhere you go, you find somebody or connection within minutes, which is just right. But I think they really need to have that call with you to understand what the potential to unlock it.
Mhm.
Like, just listening to this isn't going to give them that. They need to have that one-on-one talk to see how your brain would map out what their networking should be. Right.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's tough you can't just, it's almost like a mindset, but it's got to be tailored to their business or their personality. Everyone's different. And there's probably people way better than me at this.
Yeah.
And so I want to find out what they actually care about most, so I can just focus on that and tailor my services, my mentoring towards whatever they need.
Okay. So if people want to connect
Yep.
with you, what are some ways that they can get a hold of you? Connect.
So the best way is to text me on my cell, 847-302-0690. Social media. So I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Are there going to be any like live ABC events or Always Be Connecting events coming up? Is there anything where there's things that people can engage with?
Yeah, March 1st, I will be speaking at the Engaging Speakers group
Okay.
in Schaumburg.
Okay.
And that should be a great event there. Alan Stern spoke at the last one.
It was
Really great.
awesome, man. It was my first time at an Engaging Speakers event, and I thought it was put together really well. Alan knocked it out of the park. Can't wait to be there for yours.
Well, thank you.
I love his tagline. Is like the car buying process so easy you'll brag about it or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that's good.
He's a good dude.
Whoever wrote
He's a
that,
good dude.
that's
Yeah.
a pretty good line.
Yeah.
He's smooth.
Absolutely.
Smooth operator.
All right, Raghu, my cup is almost empty. Obviously, that means it's time to wrap it up. So seriously, I really want to thank you for sitting down, talking about networking, giving us some tips, some givers versus takers, and what those philosophies mean. I sure hope a lot of people learned a lot from listening to this. Maybe they can go out and make an impact on local businesses. And it would be awesome if everyone just thought, what would Raghu do, right? So WWRD from now on.
Yeah, for sure. What would Raghu do, guys? We went over a high-level overview of the value set that Raghu is going to be able to offer. Check out the links and all that sort of stuff to be able to follow him and to learn more about him. But Raghu, it's been an honor to have you on here. It's been an honor to get to know you and see you do your thing and to truly, genuinely help connect people. Keep doing your thing, dude. I look forward to seeing you grow.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are really, really great at what you do. And I appreciate everything you do for the community.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, brother.
For Mike and Jason, thanks for listening to Love Local today. Every community is made of unique and interesting people. Raghu is just another example of that. So until next time, support local, love local. We are all stronger together.
Peace out, friends.